Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Summer Road Tour. Thank you to our friends at Nice Job, Site One, Kohler Engines, and Echo for making this possible. I'm out on the road interviewing lawn care landscape professionals, and today we stopped by Naylor Taliaferro's in Midlothian, Virginia, and about 10 lawn care professionals came out.
Yeah.
And Will Rice is a friend of the show, been on multiple times. Good to have you back on the program.
Thank you, man. It's good to be back.
You got a girl, bro.
Yeah.
Since last time I've here, you've able to get yourself a young lady. You going to ask her to marry you soon, or you already did that, or what? She's not
next
listening,
summer.
bro. Next summer?
Yeah.
Will.
So
Next summer, bro.
we've actually had these conversations, and yeah, I mean it's only been 8 months, but still, I even had a conversation with my dad or a couple nights ago. I was like, I was talking to him. I was like, how soon is like too soon to be thinking and talking about marriage like this? And he's like, well, me and your mom met in August of whatever year it was, and then they were like pretty much decided to get married by February of the next year. So he was like, that was 6 months. So, and I mean, she's still in college. So we've had conversations between me and her just sitting and talking about this stuff. And I was like, let's get you through college first, get your degree done, get your career started, and then I threw it out. I want to go meet with my financial advisor ideally and just kind of get financial advice when it comes to marriage, because I know that can be a huge issue.
Yeah.
I don't want to have any issues like that going on, and I'm very thankful that she's not going to have any student loans coming out of college, which is a big thing.
Fantastic.
So, but yeah, I mean, she's super encouraging. Like if I'm having a bad day or whatever, she always knows what to say or how to cheer me up, and if she was here sitting on the podcast, she'd say the same thing about me. I can guarantee you that. She's just fantastic. I mean, I can't ask for anything better.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate the update there, Will. You're going to make some of the lawn bros cry, man. So let's talk about your business. And you've shared your story many times on my show. Yeah. So you can give the very abbreviated version, and then we'll get into what's new with Will's Lawn Service. You started as a young buck.
Yeah. I've been doing stuff. I was the neighborhood kid when I was like 10 years old, but once I got my license, or even then, once I got my learner's permit, I think I was freshman or sophomore. It was like the summer going into sophomore year of high school, and my dad would go out with me on Saturdays and Sundays, and he would just sit in the truck all day, and I'd do the work, which whatever, it's fine. But it was fun being with him, riding in the truck with him, having conversations or whatever. And at that point, I was mowing for quite a few people he knew, so he'd occasionally get out of the truck and go in the house with them while I did the yard or whatever. And then got my license, and then that would have been sophomore year. I got my license, so the summer going into junior year, I was able to drive and actually start doing stuff. So I'd go out and cut after school or do leaves or whatever, and then summer came, and it was like, oh, hey, I have the freedom to get up in the morning and leave and go do work. And, I mean, I wasn't quite full-time then. Like, I didn't have a full 5-day schedule or whatever, because I still had to kind of be like, I can't take on but so much, because then come September when I got to go back to school, I got to figure out how I'm going to cut all these yards and whatnot. So, like, I'd get out of high school and go cut 3-4 yards in the evening. So I'd have, like, and most of the work I did was on Saturdays. I had a friend of mine in high school helping me at the time, so it worked out for both of us. And then once I graduated high school, I tried going to community college for a business degree, and that ended up, I just got so busy I wasn't able to keep
busy
going to
running
college.
Your business. You couldn't go learn about business,
right? So I just and then went full time with that, and normally still mow grass 4 days a week and landscape work Fridays and Saturdays and makeup day or whatever. So like this week I took Monday off for the holiday because it's the week after July 4th. So I took Monday off for the holiday because originally it looked like a clear week. Like it was going to be sunny all week, and then we had Hurricane Elsa or whatever roll through yesterday. So I was most of the way through my Wednesday route, and I got a late start because we got like 6 inches of rain or something.
Yeah, I
overnight.
followed Elsa when I was in Columbia, South Carolina. It had arrived. Then I drove up to Virginia, and I just drove right through it. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, and I mean, I have 5 yards left to cut tomorrow. It's like 3.5 hours worth of work. They're all close together.
Bang them out.
Yeah, exactly.
How many yards you got now, Will?
I want to say I'm doing probably 50 to 55 a week in total, probably 80 to 85.
So you still got some of the bi-weeklies?
Yeah. And I mean, I would like to not have them, but that's honestly most of my income is the bi-weekly lawns. So, and I did some price adjusting and stuff this year, so I'm making a little more. I used your letter for that. You and Fullerton's, I kind of took them both and wrote my own.
Yeah, and guys, you don't have to overthink it. It's so simple. People get so overwhelmed, like, I don't know what to write, and they just like get paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like, just say, hey, my price was going up. It was $35 bucks. Now it's $40
bucks. I actually didn't lose anybody.
There you go.
So that was the main thing. Is like, how many people am I going to lose? But I never actually lost anybody when I went up. So that was the good thing.
And even if you do lose some, you'll still make the same or more, and you'll be doing less work.
Let's say you got $50 lawns or whatever. You got, what, $10, $50 lawns. You go up on all 10 of them $5. You lose one, you're still making the same amount of money doing less work.
And you're doing less work, and just the psyche and the when you're out on a property, like, this is $55 versus $50. It's just it literally changes the way you feel.
Yeah.
You can be on the exact same grass, cutting the exact same blade, same property, but when it's actually you're making the
more
proper rate per man hour, it just feels different. And anyway, I have a rate increase letter. You plugged it there, but it's just so simple. We wrote it so you can put your information in and then email it to the customer and notify them that the rate's going up. And you're not the only one doing this. My cleaning company that cleans my place, they did this. A lot of other companies, QuickBooks, they just sent me a letter that it's going up $10 a month.
Yeah.
And you're biting your fingernails over raising your prices $3 per cut. QuickBooks just sent it out. We ain't doing nothing about it. Almond got the letter. You got it as an email. It was like, hey,
I saw
you're
about
going
it.
up.
I don't use QuickBooks.
Well, I do use QuickBooks, and I'm still going to use QuickBooks, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to go through the hassle
of going back to pen and paper.
And I have a great bookkeeper, Gulf Coast Bookkeeping, and they like to use QuickBooks. It's just what they're familiar with, so they got me $10 a month.
Yeah.
And your customer, if they're a good customer, they want to be loyal to you, and they don't want to go through the hassle of calling someone else out. And if everything's already running, then you're $50, and now next year you're $53. They're going to keep you rolling, and if they don't, you'll replace them. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, let's do this.
And I mean, there's always more lawns. If you lose a lawn, oh well, somebody will stop you and eventually want you to do their property. You just give them the new rate, and if they accept it, they accept it.
There you go. We're going to have more with Will Rice coming right up as the Green Industry Podcast second annual Summer Road Tour continues from Naylor Taliaferro's Lake Taliaferro.
Gonna stop and get a drink of water.
All right, friends, we're back with Will Rice. He is one of our featured interviews on the Summer Road Tour. And, I
think I was making you nervous that I wasn't going to make it today.
Well, we had a hurricane when he came through. I was like, Will, you're on the brochure, you're on the flyer, you're the headliner. I'm driving to Virginia to interview you because he's like, wow, and I understand there's a hurricane. So guys are scrambling to get everything done. So I appreciate you working, coming, squeezing us in at the last hour of sunlight here to share with us your story. So what season is this since you've been full-time, out of high school, not working around crazy schedule, but just all your hours of work get to go to build your business?
I graduated high school in 2016. It's 2021, so so it would have been summer 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, so it's
6 years full-time. And are you still in the same shop I was at last summer sharing it with your buddy?
Yeah.
You guys haven't had any theft or anything like that?
We did actually.
Because that was a sketchy area.
It's not.
Well, to an outsider
sketchy.
coming in and don't know, and you're like, you have, hundreds of thousands or whatever it is, if you add up all your equipment just
But
chilling there, it made me nervous.
We did have a trailer stolen back in November, and it was in broad daylight, 12:45 in the afternoon on a Saturday.
At the shop, or was it
At the
parked somewhere?
shop.
Really?
Yeah. So the person that stole...
Yours or your buddies?
My buddies. But the guy that actually ended up stealing it was known for renting vehicles and going up and down the East Coast, steal a trailer, and then steal other things to put on the trailer and take it down. I think he lived in Florida or South Carolina or something, and he'd revend them and paint them and resell them. Like, that was how he made his living. And but that happened, and
did they catch him?
I don't know, supposedly, but I don't know all the information. I just know that's all the information that I know. And then we after that happened, his mom and girlfriend put it happened, it got shared. People were like, well, how can we help or whatever? So he found a trailer to be able to use for the time being, because it was right at the end of mowing. I think it was actually middle of October when it happened, because it was during aeration season. So yeah, it would have been the middle of October. And found a trailer he was able to use. People started asking like what they could do to help or donate money to help buy him a new one or whatever. So his mom and girlfriend put, like, I don't want to say a fundraiser, but like she put her information out, like, you can Venmo me or Zelle or whatever. And we ended up, one of the local trailer dealerships sells actually a locally made trailer. It's a Holmes trailer. I'm sure guys know what they are. But they basically rush ordered him a replacement trailer with a few upgrades from what he had before on his old, and he had bought the trailer in April. So it was April to October, 6 months is how long he had the trailer, and it got stolen. Thankfully, no equipment was on it other than a couple gas cans and trimmer line in the toolbox in the front, but no trimmers, no blowers, no mowers, nothing got stolen off of it. It was just the trailer. But we raised enough money to pay for a replacement trailer. We had a big thank you event back in November. It was the first weekend of November, so it was like 2 weeks after it happened. We had a big thank you event, just bringing everybody together. Had some snacks and stuff. Had a local coffee shop that has a coffee truck out serving drinks and snacks and stuff like that. And one of the guys, the manager of the local trailer place, the trailer had come in like 2 days before this event, and I was like, well, so he took it to his house the night before, and I left. I snuck away. He didn't realize I left until I got back, but I snuck away, went to the manager's house, picked the trailer up, and pulled in with it and surprised him.
Oh, that's really cool.
So,
and I'm really impressed with you guys, the Virginia community here. I know that you connect, you talk numbers, you talk aeration best practices, you help not just him out with the trailer. I know Steph had a situation, and didn't you help him out?
Yeah, I let him borrow one of my extra trailers.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see. This is how it's supposed to be.
Because I'd want somebody to do the same for me, so
yeah,
there's no reason to not help somebody out if you're able to. I mean, it's that simple.
It is. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. What's your operation now? Are you solo still?
Yeah.
So
I need to hire somebody. It's just I can't release that. I feel like I can't release that control, and nobody's gonna do it how I would do it. And I'm picky about how things look and stuff like that. And it seems like everybody I know that's any half decent good at it is either in a different profession or has their own company. So that's kind of what sucks. So I just need to learn to release that control of, okay, it might not be the way I would do it, but I can train somebody to help do it. But it's also like, do I have time to train somebody who has zero experience? And anybody who's got experience, and I mean, the wages now are just ridiculous. It's like you almost have to pay somebody $20, $25 an hour just to come and help you cut grass.
Yeah, I was at Starbucks this morning, and they were interviewing people to work at Starbucks, and I was shocked because it seemed like both they were sitting right next to me, Will.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to the candidates or whatever they're called being interviewed. I was like, these people There's no way they're going to get the job. And then the lady's like, so can you start in 3 weeks on Friday? And it's like, that guy got hired? It was just like.
Everybody's just hurting for employees.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, welcome. We got. Yeah, you have a podcast, right?
I do.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, Naylor's down there. Look forward to meeting you. We've got 10 plus folks coming through here, and I don't know who they are. So I'm like, I'm assuming you're here.
I don't know who some of them are. I know most of them.
Yeah, but Naylor, back to the community in Virginia, he knew I was coming here on my road tour. And last year I interviewed Will, Stacy Flanagan,
You broke
and
it up,
Naylor.
though.
Yeah. But Naylor's like, I'm going to do you a solid. You just come set up your podcasting board, and I'm going to get you 9 or 10 episodes. And he's been more than faithful to his word.
Kind of like what you did at Brian's on the winter tour.
Except Brian put
Or
me in the
summer
corner
tour,
of his
whenever it
garage, and we're here at the lake, man.
Do you remember the difference between a lake and a pond?
Yes. According to Naylor, a lake goes deep.
A pond is shallow.
A pond is shallow. And so the water here, Mr. Producer texts me, he's like, I finally saw the Lake Taliaferro. He's like, that's a puddle. So anyway, we joke, if you're just brand new to the podcast, it was all the way last year.
This will be an ongoing joke forever as long as you come
Yeah,
here.
guys will come up to Naylor probably at GIE and, I heard you live on a lake or whatever. And, you could easily swim across it.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what's in there.
I don't know if
though.
I'd want to swim in it.
No, I
wouldn't.
It's kind of dark. But I'm not hating. If I had a house with this in the backyard versus, although right now in my backyard is the Appalachian Mountains, it's the woods,
Yeah.
and I kind of like that. It's just really secluded.
Peaceful.
Yeah, but I don't want to hate to the point where I would not do this because this is really cool. I mean, it's there's something about water that's refreshing. So
Very much so.
legally, technically, I think it's a lake. It's just not as big as Lake Michigan or Lake Ontario.
Whatever,
What are the Great
whatever you
Lakes,
wanna
Will?
call
Do you
it.
know 'em?
Michigan, Ontario. I don't know.
Lake
Erie.
Erie.
What's the saying I forget the saying to remember.
Something
'em
about
or
the Great
something.
Lakes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Our friends listening in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania,
They're
forgive us.
screaming what the lakes are to us.
Yeah,
right now.
well, I know Lake Ontario, Lake
Yeah.
Michigan, Lake Erie.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
gonna
know.
make me want to.
Is there
sit
Lake
here and-
Carnegie or something like that?
I don't know. You're gonna make me sit here and Google the Great Lakes.
All right. Man, let me think one more time before you blurt it out. Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Now I forget the other one. Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan. That's one of them. There's 2 more. There's 5 Great Lakes, I think.
Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario.
Huron,
And Superior.
Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Superior. I would have never remembered those. So wasn't much of a student
Yeah.
in school, and it sounds like you weren't either. Because
Well, I was an AB student, but
that's not what I mean.
yeah.
When you have that entrepreneurial DNA, you sit there in class and you're like, this person's
This
not a
has
business.
nothing
like
to do
this
with
is
me.
nothing that's benefiting me building my business, and you just block it out. And so now
No,
you're out.
I did try to take Spanish because I figured that would be useful at some point,
the
but I took
ladies?
4 years of that and learned nothing.
Hola, mami. You know, there's a lot of Spanish folk that work in this industry. I was just
Yeah,
interviewing
exactly.
Kyle Perkins last night. He has 25 employees, and the majority of them are Spanish. So
Yeah.
I did pick up Spanish through, just
Yeah.
working with
And I mean, that's the
Some
way
folk.
to do it. Learning it in a classroom setting, I've heard, is a whole lot different than going somewhere and being immersed in that.
Well, I was saying the F
Culture.
word. I didn't even know I was saying the F word. So in front of everything, I'm like, it's effing hot, man. Like, how you effing doing? Like, because I
Yeah.
learned slang. And so one day my friend, he knew I'm
sat you down and
trying
was
to
like,
walk with the Lord and have
"Paul, here you
integrity. And
go."
he's like, hey, man, that word means F-U-C-K. And I was
Yeah.
like, no way. And he's like, yeah. He's like, it wasn't quite matching your lifestyle. So I
Yeah.
cut out how I speak Spanish. So, well, Will, we got a bunch of folk still here to interview, and we're
Oh,
running
yeah.
out of sunlight. So give your best piece of information to our friends that listen to the Green Industry Podcast all over the world. We got folks listening in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, Canada, across America, and a lot of guys are just new into the industry, and so to see a seasoned veteran like you, 6 years full time, what's your best?
24 years old or 23 years old.
Yeah, what's your best departing knowledge and motivation?
Well, like we talked about last year, the earlier you learn to say no, the better your life will be. So if you don't want to do something, if you're not equipped to do something, don't be scared to say no. And if it's something you don't want to do, don't be scared to say no. Like, I know a lot of guys starting out, they want to take on anything and everything they possibly can, but you got to know your limits and know what you're capable of to be able to do and go from there and figure out. And I see a lot of people, like, stick to your pricing. Like, that's the big thing is, like, you go out and quote somebody. We were talking about it down there. It was another company, and the guy came in. He was like, "I'm not happy with this company. What's your price?" And gives him the price. He's like, "Whoa, that's more than the other company." And you come back at him. I'm like, "Yeah, but look at the quality of work. You see the quality of work I do, whether it's your neighbors or online or social media or whatever." I'm like, "You see the difference that you're paying, but you don't want to pay the difference because you're so used to this, and you just got to stick to your pricing. Like, if you go in and price a yard at $60 to cut it, and they're like, 'Oh, well, I was paying $40.' I'm like, well, my price is my price. That's where I've got to be to make money with my overhead, equipment, insurance, payments, whatever." And you just, a lot of times if you explain why your pricing is your pricing, they'll kind of understand it and realize that, oh, okay, maybe it is worth it.
Yeah,
So,
I think I heard this on Naylor's podcast actually, but these homeowners, they're not around thinking about your business.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, well, what's his vehicle insurance?
they're thinking of
they're
getting
thinking
my
of-
grass cut.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
They don't
hot. It's
realize all
hot
the
out here.
costs.
They don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And just like when we go to a restaurant, we're not thinking about all the ingredients and all the things going into the back of everything that goes into this. Why am I paying $18 for this meal? But they're not thinking about all of our overhead either. So either with confidence saying it's $60 and they can just, you kind of put them in your place with professional confidence.
Exactly.
And then if it needed, sometimes that's all it is. Then if needed, you can even explain it. Well, Miss Susie, we're a legitimate company. We pay our quarterly taxes. We have a lot of overhead to make sure to bring you the best service that we can. And this is our rate so that we can actually sustain and make it about them, give you an incredible service that's dependable and reliable and you'll be proud of. And then
like when
they'll know.
When I have people signing up or when they first sign up, I'm like, if they sign up, I'm like, okay, well, let me get your name, phone number, email, address, all that stuff. I'm going to put you in my CRM. Your cut day is normally going to be Thursday, and you'll get a text message at Wednesday at 5 o'clock saying I will be there on
CRM
Thursday. Jobber. But I was like, you'll get a text message the night before letting you know I'm coming. If I have a rain delay, just expect it the next day or whatever. So, and it's been nice to have that. And a lot of people came back because I started using it, I think, after last year's podcast.
Okay.
And people, when I first started using it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love this text message because it lets me know, like, hey, he's coming. We need to get the yard cleaned up. If they got kids or dogs, pick the dog poop up, move stuff around or whatever." And it's been super nice for them to, and it's been nice for me to track and bill from and all that stuff. So
yeah, and if you talk to Jobber, tell him Paul sent you. Paul Jamison, Green Industry Podcast. They'll get you a big deal, for real. Yeah. So we appreciate our friends over there in Canada at Jobber. All right, well, thank you to today's show sponsors. Nice job, Gulf Coast Bookkeeping. Man, it's been a long day. Echo, Kohler Engines, Site One. GPS Track. We appreciate you guys sponsoring today's episode of the Green Industry Podcast, giving me the opportunity to come out here. And it's different than when you guys call in and you're on the show versus a phone call.
Face-to-face is always
face-to-face, breaking bread together, talking shop. I've been up here podcasting all night, but what were you guys talking about? I could just hear you talking shop down there. It was like 9 or 10 lawn brothers. Yeah, talking about aeration equipment.
Like, I mean, it's mid-July. Not even. It's first week of July, and we're already talking about aeration season, which for us is September and October. So, I mean, they're like, Charles was down there saying, have you guys sent out your aeration emails yet? And I was like, I normally do mine like first, second week of August. And Charles is like, I've already sent mine out. And Virginia Green, which is a local big treatment company, they send it out in January, and people prepay it.
That's pretty dope.
But we were also talking about seed prices increasing and all that stuff, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, and I know Will's being sarcastic because we are thankful to have a lot of sponsors for the show, but we'll always put their information in the resources. So when you're looking at the episode notes, you can actually go there and you can click on Nice Job, for example, and it'll take you to their site, get you a discount and all of that. And Echo, Site One, Kohler, these companies give us this opportunity. GPS Track It, Gulf Coast Bookkeeping. They're all to help your business. Whether it's
put your rate increase letter down in there since we talked about it.
If Mr. Producer, good cue, Mr. Producer. If you could, my friend, put the rate increase letter in there as well. You can click on that, and it'll take you right to the resource that you want. And so it's hard on every episode to mention everybody all the time.
You to sidetrack off of the rate increase, you hear guys doing it at the beginning of the year, but if you get halfway through the season and realize, oh crap, I'm not making money on this property, send it out now.
Yeah.
It might be July, you're halfway through the grass season, but send it out now. Don't eat the cost for the rest of the season and then go up next year. Send it out when you realize that you need to.
Matt LaMarche was the pro. He's a real estate mogul in Atlanta now, just crushing it in Sandy Springs. My guy Matt LaMarche would send out rate increase letters in the middle of the season. And I was like, Matt, like it made me nervous just thinking about it. He's like, Paul, I got to train my customers that I raise my rates. And he's like, I'm getting it into their mind to expect LaMarche Landscaping to raise the rates. And he ran a great landscaping company.
Now, is he sending them out mid-year saying they're effective for the following year?
No.
Or they're
he's
effective
saying,
immediately?
Well, I think it's like a 2-week notice.
Okay.
But he was doing it in the middle of the season because the demand was so, he's like, and if they want to walk, I got 5 people lined up that would love, because he was,
was he so full, so he had to make room?
He was so full, and he had one employee, but they did such excellent work in a small route dense area that everyone wanted him to work, but he didn't have room. He literally couldn't take on another client.
So he did it as a way to make room in his schedule.
Yeah, but it ultimately made him more. It's just a very smart guy. If you want to follow him, at Matt LaMarche, I think he's on Instagram. He's a real estate agent guy now. He sold his business, but very, very intelligent man. Guys, I got to get going to North Carolina here shortly, and we've still got many of the lawn bros down there that still need to get interviewed. So, Will, thank you for your time, my friend.
No problem. Thank you, Paul.
All right, we'll keep the show rolling. Check out the resources in the episode notes.
All righty.